We're going to take a look at some NFA firearms, Title II firearms, what some people like to call Class 3. And we've covered it before, but in case you're not familiar, that means the fun stuff like this one, full auto. Could mean short barrel rifles, shorter than 16 inches on a rifle, shorter than 18 inches on a shotgun, with a less than 26-inch overall length. It can also mean suppressors, like this one, which suppress the report or the noise from a firearm. Now, how do you go about getting a Title II or an NFA firearm? A lot of people are under the misconception that there's some sort of a license or permit required to own these type of firearms. That's not the case. Let's start out with the basics. To buy a firearm, any firearm, you need to fill out what's called a Form 4473 from the ATF. And this is the form that we all fill out, everyone in the United States who wants to own a firearm. And you have to answer the questions that come from the 1968 Gun Control Act and sign and date, which is the part the media likes to leave out, that says that all your answers here are legitimate. Then, depending on your state, you're going to call the FBI to do a background check, or some states have a waiting period, and after any of that's done, then you take possession of your firearm. This is for standard firearms. So if you're going to get a Title II or the NFA firearm, you got a little bit more paperwork to go through. Let's take a look at some of that. You've got 3 different fingerprint cards, and they need to be addressed to the ATF. Sometimes these same fingerprint cards are used for CCW classes or armed guards or other type of work where you might need a fingerprint. You're going to get fingerprints from each finger, your whole hand, and then thumbs. They use that to do the background check. You'll have to do something from local law enforcement that gets your signature from your chief of local law enforcement. For us in Arizona, that's the sheriff. Sometimes it's a prosecutor or judge, or I don't know. Sometimes it's other types of law enforcement. We've got another form that goes to the local law enforcement. And then you've got a certificate of compliance of 922. And then finally you get the Form 4, which is what's used for transferring a Type II firearm. And you fill out the information, obviously, information about the firearm, who it's transferred from, and then this is where your stamp's going to end up going. You put a picture on here, fill it all out, sign it, along with your local law enforcement, and those fingerprint cards. You'd also need a couple of photographs. Some of it will vary depending on your location. As for, like, our sheriff needs photos, some may not. Once you've done all this, you pay for your item. In this case, let's say we're buying the suppressor. The suppressor is a separate firearm than the gun, so the Glock in this case would be purchased with your 4473, like everybody's familiar with. You would also buy this one as its own firearm on a 4473. With your other paperwork, you typically purchase it up front, and then part of your paperwork goes to local law enforcement. When that comes back, your paperwork goes to federal, and when it comes back, you'll end up with something like this, which is the tax stamp. Get your same form back, all filled out, but with this tax stamp, and this is literally a stamp that is affixed to this document. Most people are going to immediately do a photocopy of it, and sometimes they'll shrink these down to carry it with the firearm. And this is what you need in order to own a Type II or an NFA firearm, like the suppressor. If you have any other questions, there's lots of resources out there on the web, or feel free to ask questions in the comments. As always, thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.